Welcome back to the PBC, Pelican Bay's Corner, where I give it to you. Fair and unbiased, raw and uncut. Some gonna like it and some ain't, man. We got some breaking news coming from 2 different states today. Hope everybody having a great day, having a great evening. Just depends on what continent, what state you're watching this video from, what time you're watching it. Hope everybody having a great start of their week. We just gonna get straight into it. We got breaking news coming from Montgomery, Alabama, where a dog fighting arrest was made. And then we got breaking news coming from you know where, South Carolina, Gaston, South Carolina to be exact, where 40 dogs were seized. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get into the Gaston, South Carolina raid first, because I want to speak more about the Montgomery raid. I'm gonna speak about the Gaston raid as well when the video out, but I want to play that one first. Let you check this video out. 40 dogs seized. That's 40 dogs seized in this raid. 40 dogs seized in the Pelican County raid. That's 80 dogs in South Carolina in the past week. 80 pit bulls seized. When you're going at this rate of dog seizures, there's no way that these animal shelters aren't full. Every animal shelter in the state is full up. You can't get the real problem because you making problems, if it makes sense to you. The real problem is your strays running around, all these dogs running around neighborhoods and stuff. We just gave a dog in Tennessee a pack of dogs that mauled a man down. That's your real problem when it comes to the animal shelter. The strays and the dogs that people don't want. People have dogs here in South Carolina they don't even want, but they can't take them to the animal shelter because they say they're full, they can't accept them. So what's a person to do? There's only one thing to do. Let your dog loose, let him run straight. Just let him go about his business. That's the only thing we can do around here. I mean, legitimately, that's the only thing we can do, because when you take your dog to the animal shelter, they say they can't accept them. There's nothing else for a person to do that don't want their dog or can't afford their dog or can't feed their dog. There's nothing else for them to do but let the dog run straight. And you don't got nobody playing dog catcher, nobody working the dog catcher's job, going out here getting these strays and bringing them in because of the animal shelter is full. And I said they can't take care of the real problem because they're making problems. A lot of these folk, not saying that this particular article is, but several of these folk, are taking care of their dogs better than the animal shelter will take care of them. Now, I will say, if you're doing something illegal, then that's a different story. But we have did articles on people that we didn't see anything wrong with the dogs. You can't wait till bad weather come and try to run down on somebody's yard because they got water puddles in the yard. That don't really make sense, man. That's like just starting with people for nothing. And it's crazy. It's crazy. It's stereotype. It's the dog being stereotyped. The people that got the dogs being stereotyped. The people that got the dogs, I tell y'all all the time, the only way you can fight this is if they don't got drugs involved. See, when you got all them drugs and all that other stuff involved with this stuff, you can't fight this stuff. You got to take it on the chin and keep stepping. You got guns involved, you can't fight this stuff. But when you don't have anything involved, and you're not fighting these dogs, sometimes you just got to take it to the door. And that's the thing. Make sure you always tell these folks, do not put my dogs down. Do not give my dogs a vet care, because you're going to pay for this vet care when I get my dogs back. I'm not paying for none of that. We're going to go to trial. We're going to go to court. I'm going to get found not guilty because I ain't fighting no dogs. You're not going to charge me with fighting. You're not going to charge me with harboring. You're not going to charge me with selling. You're not going to charge me with transporting. You're not going to charge me with buying. Because I don't deal in that way of life. I don't deal with them kind of folk. I don't deal with that action that you're talking about. And I want a jury of my peers, not 12 tree huggers. But you can't do that when you get caught up with these drugs, these guns, and all this other stuff. It makes you look worse than what you really are. You know, so what we're going to do, like I said, we're going to get into this Gaston County dogfighting, boys. Speak about it, and then we're going to get into the Montgomery, Alabama dogfighting, boys. You know where you got it from first, because they be trying to criticize me for having that news first. You know, I'm having a hard time as it is. I can't get it first because there's so many outlets. They put news out as fast as I can get it. They put it out on Facebook. You know, y'all remember a time when I was the one giving you that news first. Facebook can get it 3 or 4 days later. Now Facebook getting it. I get out there and give it, and I still get criticized. How you get that? How you the first one to get it? Man, all right, I'm the first one got it. You know, so let's get into this news, man. Gaston, South Carolina, 40 dog seized. It's still going down, city to city, county to county. SLED is not playing no games. Your boy PB K9s on the PBC. Let's get into it.
2 Gastonian men are facing charges in South Carolina for operating a dog fighting ring. Dennis Williams and Samuel Mobley are charged with ill treatment of animals, animal fighting, and criminal conspiracies. South Carolina Law Enforcement Agency, or SLED, responded to a home here in Blacksburg. This is in Cherokee County after getting a tip about dog fighting. This is about 50 minutes from Charlotte. SLED executed a search warrant, and they say they found 40 dogs. And a veterinarian determined 38 of them had injuries consistent with dog fighting. Both men are being held at the Cherokee County Detention Center.
That's a real crying shame, man. Not these guys' situation, not the last situation that I spoke about on several videos, but just the whole thing in general. You know, it's a crying shame, man. You know, if you're doing something illegal, you know, I can understand that. You know, and like I said before, and like I'm gonna say again, this statement that I'm about to make is not trying to fight for these brothers or fight for the last brother or fight for the brother before that, because you got to do your own fighting. I'm here to get news. But what I'm saying is, there's no way these many people are fighting dogs. You know, the dog fighting circuit is not that damn big. And then again, I don't know because I'm not in it. You know, I don't know, man. But I know it's a lot of great dogs that's losing their lives, getting euthanized, getting their, the ones that can be adopted out, they're getting neutered and spaded, which alters their life. You know, somebody take your nuts out or take your vagina out to where you can't have puppies, take your, you know, and can't have kids or whatever. Wouldn't that alter your life? So, in my opinion, that's the reason the animal shelters are full to the capacity that they're full now, because they're making decisions with these dogs that the pet owners wouldn't make. You know, if you got a pet owner that want their dog spaded, this is what I say. When you're a pet owner and you want your dog spaded, yes, get them spaded. It shouldn't be mandatory that every dog that goes to the animal shelter is getting spaded and neutered. That's the reason nobody's adopting these dogs from the animal shelter. You know, everybody don't want to have puppies, but it should be a choice, you know, if you want to have puppies or not. I don't care what kind of dog you got. You may have getting a Labrador. You may be getting a boxer. You may be getting any kind of dog. And you want, you know, because I'm telling you, dogs that are spaded and neutered, they have more health problems than a naturally intact dog. They're not going to tell you that because they want you to adopt a dog, and you thinking, oh, I don't want puppies. I don't want the dog going in heat, having dogs hanging around my house, and all that type of stuff. I understand the way people think and the way people feel, you know. But they're not telling you the real deal when it comes to these neutered and spaded dogs. Why you think your dog head stays so small and his body gets so big when he's got his nuts cut off? Or when he's spaded, she's spaded rather. Why you think their body grow differently as any kind of dog? It could be a bulldog. He got a little head compared to his big body. And it may not look that way when you're getting a 5-year-old, 6-year-old dog that's already fully developed. And, you know, he may not look like his head is small and his body is a different size because he's already shot into his shape. But you get one that's under a year old that's still growing, around a year old that's still growing, and it just got neutered and spaded, and watch how he look time he's 3 years old, 2.5 years old, even 2 years old. His body won't be matched to his head. When we're talking bulldog talk, because you know the average bulldog head be either level off with their body as far as size, or either it's bigger than their body in comparison. You know, that dog got a big head. You know, when you start seeing them with the big fat bodies and they're overweighted and all that type of stuff, an overweighted dog is not a healthy dog. Many times we'll get these dogs and they fat and they sloppy and, oh, this dog living his best life. No, he's not. You know, he's not living his best life. No different than an overly obese human not living their best life. Now you trim 50 or 100 pounds off, depends on how much you obese by, or maybe 200 pounds. Now you can move, now you can breathe, now you can think the way you want to. It's no different than a boy that's 15 years old that had a baby, you know, by mistake with a female. You know, nothing's by mistake, but you know, they doing it or whatever and doing it how they do it, and both of them young, and he's 15 and he had a baby and he don't got no job and he can't take care of it and none of that type of stuff. Parents all on him and different things. He's messing up in school, and now he decided he want to get his nuts cut at 15 years old. No, man. Fight through the storm, because you never know how you're going to feel when you're 21, when you're 22, when you're 23, when you're 18, when you're 25, when you're 30. You're not going to know how you're going to feel then. Do you want more kids? Don't go by how you're feeling right that second. You know? And that's why I say the vets and the animal shelters, they need to allow the people that's adopting these dogs to make that decision, and they will have more dogs being adopted out from these animal shelters, and you won't have a full animal shelter when you got beautiful dogs in there. People who want to do their adoptions, start asking these people about the health problems that these neutered and spaded dogs have later on once you get them. They're going to say everything in the book to go around the subject of these health problems that they're giving you. Oh, we're controlling the population of stray dogs. No, you're not. At this point, right now, today, with these animal shelters filled the way they are filled, that's the problem for stray dogs in America today. That's why you got 9, 10 stray dogs mauled a man in Tennessee, because in Tennessee, the animal shelters are filled. So they won't take your dog. It's not just South Carolina or North Carolina. It's all these states screaming the same thing. At least the states were in the South and the states up north, animal shelters full, can't take no more animals, full to capacity. Now you got thousands of stray dogs running around the neighborhood. Thousands of stray dogs. Because all they worried about is getting a few pit bulls, you know, and getting 20 and 30. And then when they get these dogs, they send them to places, not even an animal shelter, to these rescues. I did the news. If I wasn't doing this news the way I do the news, because this is not shown on these Facebook groups when they posting these dog fights. They don't show this type of stuff. They don't show the rescues that's doing harm to these dogs. Whatever happened to the people in California that had, whatever, 200 and some dogs buried, many of them with gunshot wounds, many of them still intact, dogs that shouldn't have been buried, dogs that shouldn't have been put down. Whatever happened to that? And that was just a couple months back. You never heard anything else about it again. They didn't even get felony charges. They had misdemeanor charges. So, like I said, you know, it is what it is. You just got to handle it how you got to handle it, man. But we go down to Montgomery, Alabama, where another man was arrested for dog fighting, gave dog fighting charges. Now, I want to speak about this, you know, because I couldn't find a video speaking about this, but I'm going to speak about it from the write-up I've been getting. from the writing that I seen about the article. You know, regular breaking sticks, syringes, all kind of stuff like that. I always kind of argue against that. That's not dog fighting paraphernalia. You got medicine. They call dog fighting paraphernalia. A lot of brothers know how to take care of their animals without going to these expensive vets. That's why they took a lot of this stuff off the shelves, brothers, you know, and sisters. A lot of these medicines that we normally could go into your feed store and get, they took them off the shelves and made it where you have to go to the vet now. It's just a way to spend money. You know, it's just a money ploy. All right, so I understand they say the breaking sticks, the syringes, and this and that is dog fighting stuff. With a bull breed dog, you desperately need breaking sticks. You know, breaking sticks is mandatory. You know, but they're gonna say it's dog fighting paraphernalia. But then when somebody get attacked, you can't get the dog off a person. Whether it's a pit bull, bulldog, Presa Canary, Cane Corso, Rottweiler, Doberman Pinscher, German Shepherd, you can't get a dog off of them. Breaking stick will do that. Now, that's not what I'm here to talk about, you know, because we've seen that all too much. What we don't see all the time is what I do speak about when we do see it is these brothers getting caught with these pit bulls and these brothers getting caught with boxes, the rings to fight the pit bull in. They said in this particular article, this brother got caught with a dog fighting ring, you know, all four walls, and they said something about a cover and all kind of stuff like that, and different things, you know. You can't fight against that. You can't argue for this brother when you're caught red-handed. See, this is the type of stuff I talk about. This is the type of stuff I be on when I be talking trash or talking shit about different things. You deserve what you get when you get what you get. When you have a dog fighting ring around your pit bulls, you're dog fighting. You can't argue that. You might as well go ahead, go to jail, and plead guilty. There's nothing else you could, I mean, what? It's nothing to argue about. Caught, that's what you call caught red-handed. See, it's a couple ways to get caught red-handed. Getting caught in that ring, fighting them dogs, is getting caught red-handed. Getting caught with a dog fighting ring is what you call getting caught red-handed. When you're caught red-handed, there's nothing you can do. At least from the newsman standpoint, there's nothing you can do. But it's always something you can do as far as giving them more information, telling them about some more dog fighting rings, telling them about some drugs, telling them about some guns, telling them about whatever you're going to do, tell them about. You know, it's always something you can do. But as far as saying you wasn't dog fighting, there's nothing else you can do. You caught red-handed. And that's what the situation is here in Montgomery, Alabama. You know? That's what the situation is, man. Now, you have brothers, you know, because you have them coming from all different directions. You know, you have some brothers that saying, trying to talk good for this particular situation and saying he wasn't doing this or he wasn't doing that. But when you caught with a dog fighting ring, nothing for me to stress about. It's nothing for me to try to pick your brain and make you understand and realize, you know, when it comes to the breaking sticks, when it comes to the treadmills, when it comes to the weights, when it comes to all that type of stuff, it don't mean you're fighting dogs. But when it comes to a ring, a four-cornered square box, you caught red-handed, man. You know, so at the end of the day, all I can say is, man, do the right things with these dogs. It's going down in South Carolina. Gaston, South Carolina is where I gave y'all that first little bit of news from. Gaston, South Carolina, not far from Charlotte. It's going down, man. The Berkeley County, so I can give y'all a kind of picture of where everything's at. Gaston is going to be in your upper side of South Carolina. Berkeley County, where Thompson got caught at, you know, that's going to be in your lower side of South Carolina, more closer to the Charleston area, the Charleston County area, and the Charleston metropolitan area, you know. So it's just different areas, man. brothers be knowing brothers. Not saying that this has anything to do with the Berkeley County situation, but what I'm saying, because as far as I know, and far as what we've seen on the news articles, Berkeley County with Thompson, he didn't get caught by SLED. He got caught by Berkeley County Sheriff Office. These brothers got hit by SLED, South Carolina Law Enforcement Division. You know, so you just got to do right with these dogs, man. Stay safe out there with these dogs. Make legitimate moves out here with these dogs, and you know, just stay on top of your game, man. Stay on top of your game and take care of your animals. If you want these animals, just gotta take care of them. You know where you got it from first, man. The PBC, Pelican Bay's Corner. Well, I give it to you fair and unbiased, raw and uncut. Some gonna like it, and some ain't. And we out.